Welcome back to Hawks Podcast, episode 10. Neverita, Bad Bunny.
Yo estoy puesta pa' ti, tú te me quitas. Diablo, que piquete la chamaquita. El corazón lo puso en la neverita. Dice que este verano se queda solita. Yo estoy puesta pa' ti y tú te me quitas. Diablo, que piquete la chamaquita. El corazón lo puso en la neverita. Dice que este verano se queda solita, pero nunca sola, sola. Amores vienen y van como la sola. El DM explota, todos le escriben hola. Una fila cabrón y yo quiero la cola. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of Hawks Podcast. This is Hawks Podcast, episode 10. Man, it is the last day of summer 2022. It is September 22nd, 2022, man. This summer's been great, and I did not want it to end. But alas, all good things have to come to finish. So, it's the end of summer, and tomorrow is the autumn equinox. So I'm excited. I'm excited for fall. But, you know, I've just loved summer so much that I just wanted summer to just continue. But it's okay. It's okay. So we're going to make sure I utilize this day wisely. I'm going to upload 2 podcast episodes today to end off the summertime. Hopefully you guys had a good summertime, a good summer 2022. So since this is not the last, technically not the last episode, the next episode will be episode 11. That will be the last episode I post for the summertime, although they're going to be uploaded at the same time. But I just wanted to say that. But let's get straight into this video. Let's not waste too much time so I can upload these not at 9 p.m. or like 7 p.m. I can upload these around 3 or at least before the evening. Maybe 4:35 at the latest. So anyways, regardless of all that, today's video we're going to be reacting to Words Ruined by Gen Z by TommyNFG. Before I continue this, I wanted to say that song that was playing in the beginning was Never Eat Up a Bad Bunny. He's just been running this entire summer 2022. That song was also produced by Tiny. That's a great song, man. That's a great song. The music video came out on my birthday, which was a month ago. It came out on my birthday, which is crazy. I didn't expect that at all. So that was just, that was crazy. But anyways, let us get into this video. I'm part of Gen Z, so let's see what words have we ruined. You know, let's see. And TommyNFG, I watched a couple of his videos before just to get the gist. So I've enjoyed them. That's why I'm also doing this reaction. So let's get into it. Words Ruined by Gen Z. I've also seen this video all the way through, so I didn't have to pause too much. And I saw it on Saturday, so this past week, which was 5 days ago now. Anyways, let me get straight into it.
Words were created in the dawn of humanity to help us express ourselves. Johannes Kepler was actually the first ever person believed to have developed an official language back in 1000 BC. It was known as Oitar and could only be small. Human evolution then took its course at that point. Over time, people adapted these spoken dialects and started to develop their own unique languages, incorporating their cultures in these languages and how things are spoken as well from it. Now there are over 7,800 languages spoken in over 195 countries. But you know what? I made that whole story up. I don't know what I'm talking about. Johannes Kepler is just some random German found on Google, and Oitar isn't even a real language. It's just ratio spelled backwards. The real point of this video is that Gen Z sucks, and we like to ruin things very fast.
See, he's also a member of Gen Z, just like me.
Really? Especially when we're talking about words. So I want to name some of these words that have been run to the ground due to our generation. And the first word I want to start this video off with
ratio.
is ratio.
There
Remember when ratio was a math term used to simply describe the comparison of quantities between two things? Like you have 3 triangles and someone has 2 squares. That's a 3-2 ratio right there, baby. The wholesome origin of the word could never imagine what it would be turned into. Well, actually, the origin of the word is not wholesome. It comes from math. Nonetheless, it never deserved the treatment that it turned into. Because instead of simply being used as a math term that helps kids with equations, it turned into a dangerous weapon used online. Now, every time you see someone say ratio, they're just trying to get above you. Seem like a king over you just because they got more likes on a Twitter post. Successfully ratioing someone online, if you don't know, is just getting more likes than them. Like, that is the whole point of a ratio. And honestly, I didn't have a problem with the word at first. Sometimes people need to be ratioed just because of the absolute dog came out of their mouth. And a ratio can prove that no one agrees with them but themselves. That's the part I actually agree with. However, as we know, Gen Z always finds a way to ruin everything.
You cannot be biologically born a woman.
So when people started to see other people successfully ratioing people, they wanted to partake in it as well. So the word progressed into being used as a means of defense against someone or just defending someone from saying some stupid being used against anyone. Some people just reply to other people saying ratio for attention now, or just because they disagree with their opinion, which was not how it was supposed to be used in the first place. Some could say a small opinion, like they could say in a comment section that they simply like apples better than bananas. And some dumb in the replies would try to ratio them just because they're mad at them and that they don't agree with their opinion. The whole meaning of the word is kind of lost. But the worst part of a ratio is when it fails. Getting a failed ratio keeps me up at night more than a nightmare does, because you can never come back from a failed ratio. Then they end up counter ratioing you and it just makes it even worse. It's permanently indoctrinated into your internet history career that you got someone with a young boy profile picture on Twitter. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm 80 years old and someone still brings up an argument saying that I got ratioed 60 years ago on Twitter by @YoungBoysMeatRider225.
It is iconic,
and what's
though.
even sadder is that kids
That's
are
a
probably
word that
going to
we've
learn what a
also
ratio
used
is in a
iconic,
comment section before they do in a classroom. Then are going to wonder why the meaning is different from what their math teacher taught them. The next word that comes to mind for me is mid. Mid was never a positive term in general. Nowadays, I see mid being used more frequently, which is kind of throwing away the meaning for it. In the past, you would call something mid because you genuinely thought it was average. It didn't even mean it was bad, it just means that you thought it was average. Now everyone calls anything they slightly don't like mid, or just because someone else's opinion is slightly different, they'll call that person mid. At this point, the term is just used to insult something or someone. It's lost like the like the intrinsic value to the word itself. I used to be personally offended when someone called me mid, but now I'm so used to it I don't even care. At the end of the day, I know it's people's opinions and they have their own biases and stuff, but that doesn't mean just because you slightly don't like something doesn't mean it's mid. I see this happen a lot with shows and especially with animes. Being a part of any anime community on any platform makes you hate life. Anime have a superior complex will just call anything mid. Yo, have you watched One Piece? What? Have you watched One
Piece?
Oh, sorry, I think you're mispronouncing it. You mean mid-piece?
Goodness gracious.
Mid in front of any anime that's popular pretty much. Also, the worst part of the word is those dudes who just go in girls' comment sections and call them mid. The girl could be 10 out of 10 on the scale and on every aspect, and you'd see some nerd in the comment section saying that she's mid. But in reality, they would never have a chance of being with a girl like that. Buddy, look at yourself in the mirror real quick. You're scrawny, dirty. Spend your whole day on Discord or Reddit. And you wear a bow tie. Plain and simple, never had a chance anyways. And I hate to break it to you, but she would never even look in your direction. Anyways, the next word we got is mommy. My son or daughter in the future will never call their mother mommy because of y'all. Y'all took a term near and dear to people's hearts and just spun it insanely. It was
Can we just say something like Mamacita or Poppy? Why does it have to be so weird? Like, I don't know why people have to be so weird with it.
It's supposed to be a wholesome way of calling your mom by another way. Saying mom or mother is kind of just too formal for some people. So a nickname like mommy was a wholesome way of saying it instead. Now people just call any girl that they think is hot mommy. The meaning is completely gone for the word. I've seen comment sections full of niggas just calling a girl mommy. What happened to decency in our human lives? Out of all things, we took a word that's supposed to be used for our mothers who we love, and now we use it in a comment section as a way to degrade ourselves. Then the word evolved and we decided to start using mommy milkers. Then I knew it was completely done for. But the next word kind of relates to this one, which is the word daddy. When I was a kid around 8 years old, I used to still call my dad daddy, and my friends would always make fun of me for that. I had zero clue why they made fun of me until I finally found out the truth later on. Y'all freaking not only turn a nickname that we use for our mothers into a different meaning, they did the same nickname that's used for dads. So now girls will do the same guys do with using the word mommy. Go in a dude's comment section and comment daddy in it. It's like everything we do in life somehow turns sexual. So in the future, my kids will never call me daddy and will have to grow up wondering why I don't like being called that. Because every time they say it, I would just get flashbacks. And it wouldn't be good, kind flashbacks. Even now, I can say the word dad is slowly being ruined. And it's by none other than men themselves. I've seen dudes comment dad in other dudes' comment sections all the time. I've even called me dad too before. My kids in the future are just gonna have to call me bro or something. The next word that comes to my mind is period. We're not talking about that eeny weeny dot you use after sentences, which honestly half the internet never knows how to use anyways, like grammar is out the window. Now this is something different. I used to like using the word period before in the past. I would end my sentences by saying point blank period because it kind of sounded cool. But now if I say period, people think I'm sus or zesty. It got spun into a word that's used by girls who think they're quirky, but in reality they're not. It's supposed to be used to quote unquote show you strongly agree with something now, which really was never the case. Because girls would just say period after every one of their sentences now. And even though it's spelled different because it has a T at the end of the word, they still exactly sound the same. So if I say period, people will still interpret it like I'm saying go with a T. There's no winning in this situation at all. The next word we've got in this is literally. You may be confused why
Literally, there we go. Okay, so a lot of these terms, they can be overused on the internet, but the good thing is you can just ban those words. Like if you have a YouTube channel, you can just ban those words on your YouTube comments if you feel so inclined to do so. But yeah, I mean, it's the nature of the internet. Things get really annoying real quick. It is what it is. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's keep watching.
Here, but listen real quick to what I have to say. Literally in the past was used when you wanted to speak something that was factual, objectively true in that sense. So an example would be me saying something like, I'm literally black, because it's true. But now no one knows how to use the word literally anymore. In fact, it's just completely spun into the opposite of what it was supposed to mean. People will put the word literally in front of anything, even if it's not true. It's just used for sarcastic value at this point, which is why it's never used right 99% of the time. And as time has went on, it's gotten even worse. I remember watching Leafy is Here, and he probably infected half of the youth with this phrase. If you guys
Leafy is here. Oh my god.
were around, he said literally at least 10 times in every fucking video.
Literally, 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 literally,
Literally,
literally, and literally, 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 literally.
Leafy is here was a YouTuber back in he peaked in popularity during 2015 to like 2016, the mid 2010s. He was a YouTuber. He was a commentator who talked about current topics, primarily on the internet related topics like YouTubers and social media drama. You can look up information. I'm pretty sure he has a Wikipedia page, so go ahead and look that up. But yeah.
Literally, literally, literally,
That's one of his phrases. That's one of his phrases back in the day. We're back in middle school. I remember sometimes I'd hear some people talk about Leafy's here. I was like, oh wow, he's really big.
Moving on to the next word we've got is NPC. You simply called someone an NPC because they couldn't think on their own. It was a funny insult because there are genuinely people in this world who are just
we literally
NPCs.
talked about NPC
like, you
in the
cannot
last
tell me you
couple-
see some of these
last
think
couple-
how even a real person that's living on the same planet with me. It's important to actually distinguish who is one and who isn't one though. But now I don't even like using the word anymore. People have no clue who to call an NPC at this point. Because anything someone does now, you would just call them an NPC for no reason. You could just see someone sitting down and you would call them an NPC. Be breathing, you would call them an NPC. Or if you do something that they think is weird, they're gonna call you an NPC. In reality, you're just the one who's an NPC. It was all TikTok trend at some point to call people NPC. Here's some examples I found on my own. Dance if you're an NPC. Allergic to peanuts. Dance if you're an NPC. Numbers in their username. Dance if you're an NPC. Like, can we just not do anything at this point? I can't be allergic to anything. I can't put numbers in my usernames. I can't even sleep without being called an NPC. We might as well just not exist to prevent from being called an NPC. At the end of the day, it's still a good term to use to insult someone, but just make sure you know how to use it right. The next one we're gonna...
Yep, NPC, one of the most annoying terms right now. TikTok. I don't have TikTok, actually. I don't have a TikTok account. I don't have TikTok. I've used TikTok before, not having an account, but I think I almost made a video on TikTok like back in 2018 when it was still kind of new, 2018, 19, but I don't use TikTok. But I've used YouTube Shorts before, which is kind of like TikTok basically. It's similar to TikTok, YouTube Shorts. But let's continue.
Talk about a slay. Slay used to be a badass word to
Slay.
use when I was a kid. I remember it used to be really popular to say you slayed something in a game or something. Because the word kind of sounded cool until you grew out of it. But now I'm glad I grew out of using the word. It turned into another quirky girl word to use. So now when I use the word slay, they think I'm sus or zesty once again. Because now it's just a word girls use to flatter each other and be like, oh my god, yes. Oh my god, oh my god. It's pretty much in the same category as hot Cheeto girl terminology. And when it gets to that point, no one really wants to use it. The next word we got is Riz. Riz was such a good word before it got ruined. If you don't know, Riz is basically the same thing as having game with someone. Being able to talk good with someone and just being smooth. But now we enter the word quote unquote unspoken Riz. This is really where it went downhill. Unspoken Riz is pretty much this. It was created by Kai Cenat and Duke Dennis. They would use their hand and wave at a girl to come to them because of their game. They could do it. And when they did it, it would work because they actually know how to pull. Then eventually reached TikTok and the whole word lost its meaning. It became a trend to act like you had unspoken Riz. And guys would just go up to girls and wave their hand and act like they would come to them. It was to test their Riz game and see if it would work. By far the worst trend I've ever seen on TikTok. Life is not a harem anime where girls would just come to you by waving your hand. Instead of getting girls by doing this, you'll just end up with a restraining order instead. It'll completely ruin the word and just trend itself. It even got to the point where Duke Dennis, who was the one who made the trend, didn't even want to be involved with it. Bro, stop trying to call females over by waving your hand. You are not cool. That is a real tweet from him. You gotta push a man far for him to denounce something that he started. But at the same time, he can't really be mad too because he actually started this entire thing. At the end of the day though, I guess he never expected it to go this far. Because he did it like a couple times on stream and kids ran with it like no tomorrow. And we're going to end it off with one of the ones...
Yeah, unspoken words. I think I saw a clip. No, I'm pretty sure I saw a clip on Instagram where Duke Dennis actually was talking to a fan, and the fan, I think he was probably like high school age around there. He was like, That's unspoken race right there. I'm not trying to make fun of the kid. Of course, I'm doing that. I'm just kind of making a little voice. That's unspoken race right there. And then Duke Dennis looked on the ground. I think he looked at the kid or he looked at the camera because someone was recording that interaction, and Duke was like, bruh.
I hate the most. The final word is going to be ussy. If you don't know what ussy is, let me explain it to you real quick. The word ussy itself is just a suffix you put at the end of something. And I think you can guess where the word comes from.
Goodness, bro. And this is a PG channel, so
this is a little joke and put in front of people's names at first. But then eventually it led to being put in front of anything. People will start saying things like keyboard ussy and fun ussy and Windows ussy. Anything you can think of, they just added the word ussy in front of it because they thought it was so funny. In reality, it wasn't. I never found this funny, and I still don't understand who even thought this is funny or still think it's funny. I think it's another one of those words that's used by girls who think they're quirky, but they're not. Honestly, I'm gonna end it right there. By the way, if you couldn't tell, I'm just joking.
Yeah, he's... there you go. There's the part. I was gonna say he's a little over exaggerating.
Entire video. Like, go ahead and use these. I really don't care. Let me know what other words I missed in the comments, because there's probably a ton I don't even know about. Follow my Instagram and TikTok. Always, I love you guys consensually. And until next time, I'm out.
That's a one snap. That was a great video from TommyNFG, a fellow member of Gen Z. Shout out to him. And yeah, that's it, bro. Anyways, so that was it for this video. That was a great video from TommyNFG. What do you think? What other words do you think have been ruined by Gen Z? You know, it's good to be critical and be analytical and be like, okay, so what words have we used too much? And what other words can we come up with? And in the nature of popular and trendy things, they're just going to get ruined over time. It's just the nature of, you know, how things work. It's okay. It's okay. And you can still use things that have been kind of outdated, you know. And when you look back on pop culture in the past, you get to see a little arch drive, a little window into what the culture was like back in the 80s, for example, or the 90s. But not to get too serious into it, like he said. It's kind of like a joke video, basically. Words were by Gen Z. But ratio. The last word he said, I mean, well, okay. There's a lot of words that are popular now that we're going to look back on and be like, what was that? Nah, what was that? But anyways, that is it for this podcast episode. So let's just wrap it up. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Hawks Podcast. This is episode 10. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to let me know. Thank you guys so much for all the support over these past 10 episodes. It's crazy. Technically 11 episodes, but we're just going to say 10 because episode 0 doesn't count. And yeah, let's get into the ending. The song is Never Eat by Bad Bunny. Produced by Tiny. The song is produced by Tiny. And yeah, let's just wrap up this podcast episode. Let's go. All right. Shout out to TommyNFG for that video too. All right, let's go. Hey. I feel like a DJ.
Dale, quítame el lock, yo me la pasaría contigo, viendo TikTok, déjame sorprenderte, déjame untarte el sunblock pa' que no te quemes, aquí hay muchas nenas lindas pero tú la tienes, jugar conmigo se te entretiene, no seas mala, me tienes de meme, yo estoy puesta pa' ti, tú te me quitas. Diablo, que piquete la chamaquita. El corazón lo puso en la neverita. Dice que este verano se queda solita, pero nunca sola, sola. Amores vienen y van como la sola. Tú lo que eres una abusadora, pa' buscarte una cerveza y beber cora.
Thanks for watching. Hawks Podcast, episode 10. Peace out. Have a nice day. Bye.